Thank you for watching RooTV.
Welcome back from spring break to another episode of RooTV. I'm Marissa Leggio.
And I'm Grace Kurtz. Students have expressed feeling unsafe using a crosswalk at UMKC. Stay tuned to hear where it's located and if anything has been done.
An exciting month ahead for Kansas City as the 2023 NFL Draft is heading to Union Station. With that being said, Kansas City Public Schools will hold virtual classes later this month while the draft is held. The draft runs Thursday to Saturday, April 27th through the 29th, with activities on the pavement south of Union Station, at the National World War I Museum and Memorial, and around downtown. Some roads in the area will be closed. With large crowds expected, KCPS decided to cancel in-person classes on that Thursday and Friday, according to a document shared with the Kansas City Star newspaper. The district will use an alternative method of instruction, or AMI, hours for virtual classes, which the State Education Department allows for exceptional or emergency circumstances.
The Food and Drug Administration announced that the overdose reversing drug NARCAN was approved for over-the-counter sales in Missouri. This announcement comes as overdose deaths are on the rise. More than 2,000 Missourians died from an overdose in 2021. Tony Spilito, a pharmacist at Spilito's Pharmacy in Kansas City, described that availability of NARCAN allows pharmacists to see who is getting the drug and how frequently, and then potentially contact the patient's doctor, depending on their reasoning. Emergent Biosolutions, the drug company that makes NARCAN, notified that it will be available by late summer because of manufacturing changes. Local organizations have begun distributing NARCAN for free and without a prescription, such as Healing House and Confluence HRKC.
Kansas City police are investigating after one person was killed in an overnight shooting at a restaurant near East 70th Street and Prospect Avenue. Around 12:20 a.m. Monday, police were called to Texas Tom's restaurant at 6950 Prospect for a reported shooting. Once on scene, officers discovered 29-year-old James Hill Jr. unresponsive with gunshot wounds in the carryout section of the business. Emergency crews later pronounced Hill dead at the scene. Police say Hill was standing in the carryout area arguing with one or more people when the interaction escalated and led to the shooting.
Now, let's throw it over to Jackson Ogden for sports.
Well, welcome back into the den. I'm Jackson Ogden. The Royal season is underway, and just like every other season, they're losing. Over the weekend series against the Minnesota Twins, the Royals were shut out the first 19 innings of the series before Edward Olivares hit a solo shot to end the embarrassment. The Royals ended up getting swept and are 0-3 to start the season, which might be surprising to some, but for those that have been watching me, you know this is exactly what I expected, unfortunately. I love the Royals to death, but I keep it real, and this franchise just has no idea what they're doing. Since my year of birth all the way back in 2001, the Royals have the worst record of any team in Major League Baseball. Now, while the Royals might be going through it, the reigning world champion Kansas City Chiefs are prepping for the NFL Draft later this month. I'd personally love to see them add another receiver into the mix or perhaps an edge rusher to help out Chris Jones. Some players to be on the lookout for are Ohio State wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba and Georgia edge rusher Nolan Smith. I'll have much more on the draft as we near closer, so make sure to tune in the next few weeks so you are all caught up. Well, that's all for today. As always, go Royals, go Chiefs, and Roo up.
Welcome back to Lifestyle and Culture. I'm your host, Joshua Cunningham, and today I'm going to continue talking about the conservatory, but this time it's going to be the theater side. I want to talk about the two shows that I watched this year. The first one was in the fall, and the second one was in the spring. The first one was Thinner Than Water, and the second one was called Bethel Park Falls. They were both amazing shows. Personally, I like Thinner Than Water a little more just because it dealt with family and tragedy, and in this story, the father had just died in the family, and it just showed how much turmoil was really in that family and how you really should get out what you need to say to your family and friends before it's too late to, because then that just caused a lot more pain. And it really taught me a lot about that, and with my family, how I need to just be open about things I felt in the past or things I'm feeling now, so that I'm not hurt by the time some people are gone or some people are far away. The other one was Bethel Park Falls, which I also thought was really great, and it was more just talking about the human experience and how we as people are a lot more similar than we really think we are. I mean, it just brought people from different backgrounds to the same park just to talk to each other, and you realize, wow, we as people, we should come together, have more conversations so that we can just understand each other more and more day by day. But if you want to hear more of my opinion on these two shows, go to the Roo News website. It will be up. And come back next week to hear me talk about more music, film, theater, whatever it will be next week on RooTV.
Welcome back to Book Review. My name is Afnan Hussain. I finished Malibu Rising, and I must say, Taylor Jenkins Reid did it again. On its surface, there's nothing immediately special about this story. It's a tale of dysfunctional relationships and families all wrapped up in the setting of a party, and it's been done many times before. Yet, Reid infuses so much more into it. It draws me in and keeps me riveted from beginning to end. I love the metaphor of fire and rebirth in this novel. The siblings have secrets from each other, ones that will affect the direction of their lives, which all come to head during the party. A party that ignites, burning totally out of control. An uninvited guest will be the catalyst for Nina and her siblings to realize what it is they really want from life. I loved the Riva children and their strong bond. I enjoyed how the book went from the 1960s time frame of the past with the parents to the current time frame in the 80s with the grown children in Malibu. My one nitpick is that when we get to the actual party, there were too many side characters, and it took a little bit away from the focus of the story. I'm not sure we needed to know all of them, and their introduction and side issues became a bit confusing to me, but it's a pretty minor quibble overall. I give this book a 4 out of 5 star rating. Here's a quote from the book that I really enjoyed reading. Our parents live inside us, whether they stick around or not. They express themselves through us in the way we hold a pen or shrug our shoulders, in the way we raise our eyebrow. Our heritage lingers in our blood. If you enjoyed this book review, check out my Instagram at afhussain_ for more. Thanks for listening.
Students have expressed concern with the safety of the crosswalk on UMKC's Rock Hill Road. With a single yellow blinking light, many drivers disregard the warning. This is compounded by the large curve preceding the crosswalk, which prevents students and drivers from seeing far ahead. Senior Garrett Moniz expressed that this uncertainty is a particular challenge for him, as he suffers from severe vision impairment and is blind in one eye. Because of this, he often relies on the movement of others and trusts that oncoming traffic will stop. Yet, many students recounted experience where that was not the case. Senior Angela Lombardino described an encounter she had, saying, "One time I was already halfway through the crosswalk when a car drove right in front of me." Freshman Ella Whitfield described that she once had to run across when she noticed a car speeding up. Despite the incidents, no complaints have been filed with the university regarding the crosswalk. Campus Police Chief Mike Bongartz hopes students will be mindful and take precautions before crossing, such as yielding to traffic.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of RooTV. Be sure to hop on the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RooNewsUMKC.
See you next week.
I can feel myself starting to sweat. I'm like, oh.
Grill some barbecue on the shrimp.
I think it makes sense.
There'll be a story up very soon.